What is going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. My name is Andrew, and welcome to episode 2 of Odds and Ends. With me, as always, and I say as always, even though this is the only second episode, we have Hayden Crocker, who is D-Roll's audio engineer.
Hey.
And as a guest today, we have the operations manager inside D-Roll, as well as one of the co-creators of the Podly Satisfying podcast, Kevin Bresser.
Hi.
Yeah, you saw him actually on the 7B video. He was the one who was testing the 7B versus the stealth.
Thank you for saying testing and not singing.
Oh God.
That's how I feel that's how I feel about the Strat video.
The Strat video.
Yeah.
It was definitely something where I was looking for what's the smoothest way I can transition in and out of this.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but I look forward to potentially a facepalm, I guess.
This is what happens when you get bass players to play other instruments.
Oh, we'll make sure that we have virtuosos only from now on, Hayden. Thank you.
I'll do the bass stuff.
That's fine. That's totally cool.
I'll do bass stuff. And I'm not saying that I'm a bass virtuoso. Let's not get that mistaken. Yeah.
Got it. So today's episode is based around the last two videos of why would you pick a Stratocaster and why would you pick a Telecaster. And we are going to be having a conversation around the differences between them, which we think is better. And when I say we, I mean Hayden and Kevin. And just overall why the main differences between them all. So without further ado, I think the first question on everyone's mind is, because I mentioned this in the video, Fender and Squier, the lower end Squiers versus the higher end Fenders. What is the difference between the two?
Cheap labor.
Yeah.
We're
off to a grim start here. Oh my God.
No, that's really what it is. Like, Squiers are made offshore.
Yep.
Right? You get the Mexican Fenders and the USA Fenders. They just cost more to make. Cheaper components, cheaper labor.
I guess the materials that they make. That's what I was gonna say. You said components, materials.
Yeah.
The wood they use.
And like, that doesn't mean Squiers are crap either. Like, there's what's it called? It's not the Classic Vibe. It is Classic Vibe. It used to be
Classic
the
Vibe.
The Classic Vibe series of Squier is freaking killer. It's really, really good. For like $600, you get guitar lasts you your life if you trick it out a bit. Like, it's really good.
Just switch out the pickups for it in it, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's actually one thing I was mentioning about the Strat itself, was how easily customizable the thing is. No matter what pickups you want, chances are you can just swap them out. No body work needing to be done on it.
Yeah, for the most part.
Same with the Tele too.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I got really confused at, because I don't play any stringed instruments. I hit things with sticks. And as I looked at the research notes for both the Strat and the Tele, once you passed the electronics part, everything kind of started becoming the same. And I was like, well, why am I doing a second video then?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this episode is for me as much as it is for everybody else. Let's talk about the actual difference between a Stratocaster and a Telecaster. So typically the body are going to be made of the same woods. We're looking at alder or ash, maple fingerboards, rosewood fingerboards in some iterations. Inside the guitar itself is where it seems to be the difference. What is that actual difference, coming from actual guitar players instead of someone pretending to know about guitars?
Tone knob.
The tone knob itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
That has two. Tele has one. The thing that makes a Strat is that middle pickup, right? A Tele just has the bridge and the neck pickup, and the neck pickup's a little bit different. It's usually like a chimier pickup. Like there are a whole bunch of like little like minute differences. But the real difference between the two is that middle pickup, and the second tone knob. Um, yeah, go ahead.
I associate the difference of the two more sonically
Mhm.
rather than like obviously there are physical differences. But whenever anybody asks me, "Hey, what's the difference between a Tele and a Strat?"
Mhm.
Like, okay, well, what kind of music are you looking to play? Because depending on what you're going for, like the sound you're going for, it really depends on what kind of guitar you're going to get. The Tele is really good for country, southern rock, um, some pop stuff, and then the Stratocaster is kind of like a versatile jazz, funk, rock, pretty much anything.
Yeah.
But like you can't get the Tele sound out of a Strat. So if you're gonna play country, you got to get a Tele.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get really into it, there are a few things that make the Tele sound, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like the brass on steel kind of like the ashtray versus the saddles, like the little tubular saddles on the Telecaster. They change how double stops sound, like when you're playing two strings at once. If you're playing them both on the one like saddle, it's going to ring out more. Like there are things like that make the Telecaster kind of scream a little bit more, like with more like the treble stuff. That and the pickups are really what give you that sound. And like on top of what Hayden said, like I wouldn't say that one's more versatile than the other. It's just the way that they work are super different. You can make a Tele sound like whatever you want. You just got to mess with the tone and volume controls differently. It's only a three-way pickup selector, so you got the bridge, the neck, or the neck and the bridge, right? But then
Right.
you have like every like little tiny little shift in the tone knob is going to give you different sounds as well. Whereas with the Strat, and why I say the main difference in the Strat is the middle pickup is like that gives you a 5-way pickup selection, right? So you get like bridge and middle, like all three, or just the middle one, depending on if you have an S switch or not. Like there are a whole bunch of different combinations that you get from that middle pickup, and that middle pickup and the bridge and that middle pickup and the neck are kind of what give you that like signature Strat sound.
Right.
And you don't have that two different kinds of metal kind of ping that you get from the Tele. I'm getting really technical here. I don't think anybody's
Mhm.
going to care about that stuff so much.
Some people will.
Some people will. But like really, like I'm with like what Hayden's saying, it's like you really just gotta like pick it up and plug it in and see if it does what you want it to do. Really.
Yeah.
Right.
Going back to that versatility for both guitars, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I play in a metal band, and each guitar player either plays a Strat, like one plays the Strat, one plays the Tele.
Hmm.
So there you go. It's like you can play both instruments on.
Yeah, a lot of like the emo bands and like the screamo bands from like the mid 2000s, stuff like that. They're all like playing these screaming Telecasters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like there's no the idea that there's rules in music and in gear is just like a complete lie.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Which is why.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I think that's also why like for us it's we're not like yeah, every time we do a review or we do a showcase or a shootout, like at the end of the video we always like I always feel the need to be like, this is what we're thinking, this is not your thoughts, so like you gotta make the decision for yourself eventually, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So bringing it back to the Tele Strat conversation, the main thing that a lot of people look at are the pickups. We're looking at most of the time two single coils in a Strat, sometimes with a humbucker. You can have yeah, thank you for correcting me. 3 single coils in a Strat, sometimes a humbucker at the bridge, 2 single coils on a Tele. Why would I choose one configuration over the other? Why would I want single coils over humbuckers or humbuckers over single coils?
So humbuckers do pretty much what they say. They cancel the hum.
They
There's no
bucket.
buzz. They
Buck
bucket.
Bucket.
They bucket. If you want just like completely clean sound, then put a humbucker or get a Strat with a humbucker. If you want something that's going to be has a little bit more hotter output, then get the single coils.
The humbuckers have the hotter output.
Then get the humbuckers.
We know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more power just because there's 2 pickups. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the humbuckers are going to give you warmer sound.
That's it.
Because they're going to cut off some of that high end when they cancel out that hum as well. I don't know all of the. It all depends on magnets and crap like that. But really, with the single coil, you're going to get this chimey thing, but you can get a lot more, interference and noise and stuff like that from, especially if you're playing high gain stuff. If you don't have a humbucker, it's just going to be like all the time.
This is also where we start picking up FM radio stations during rehearsals.
Yeah, you get to hear the weather while you're playing your sick jams.
And in other news, it's more like and in other news. Can you?
It's super far away.
Yeah.
Or you pick up like that one radio station that's like never in full frequency when you're driving. You can never really get it to come through.
Yeah.
But somehow your guitar picks it up, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, get better cables. I think that was the last podcast talking about cables.
Yeah, that was the last episode. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Spend some money on cables, guys and gals, homies. But yeah, like, and a lot of the time in a Strat as well, not a Strat. Well, yeah, in a Strat, in a Fender or a Squire or whatever. Probably more so in a Fender. A lot of the time, if there's a humbucker in it as well, there's some kind of way to split it. Like I know in the
Is that like one of the knobs where you can pull it?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
I've seen those before.
There's coil splitting and there's coil tapping. And again, this is like way more technical than people might need, but like it's cool to know. I don't remember which is which, but I was talking to a Fender rep one time and I was like, what the hell is really the difference? And a coil split is that you're kind of turning one of the pickups off. So you get a big drop in gain, but it's a true single coil sound. The other one, whichever one it is that it's doing something in the electronics to make the other pickup less pronounced, so you don't lose the gain, but you don't get the same kind of single coily sound. It's like a faux single coil sound, which is really cool. So you might not necessarily want the full pickup getting turned off because you're going to get this weird volume dropout. But anyway, food for thought. Delicious brain.
That's good. You said you don't want to lose the gain. I fully heard you don't want to lose the game.
Oh no, I just lost the game.
And I just did this to whoever knows about the game out there.
The game
I had
over.
to.
The game is over.
Shout out to anybody born before.
I don't know. I remember first hearing about that in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about the difference between the Fenders and the Squire, the difference between the humbuckers and why you would want one over the other. The main thing now that remains is the actual material of the guitars themselves. Both can be made out of the alder or ash woods on the bodies, maple or rosewood on the necks. Who would choose one over the other?
I don't care.
Okay.
That's an
well, thanks for listening,
question.
everybody.
Yeah. I know I've talked to a couple people who only go with alder, and they can never give me a reason why.
Yeah.
Except for it just sounds better, but they can't even tell the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also basswood. If we're looking at Squires as well, they use a lot of basswood just because it's a cheaper wood and it still sounds
good. And this is for Fenders. We're talking about Fenders because you can get like those weird boutique, like handcrafted guitars or basses that use like zebra wood or bloodwood as the body, and like that actually does, or mahogany, those actually do change the tone of the instrument. But when
Yeah.
you're talking about ash or alder,
Honestly, do you
Judging by your faces, get whatever one is available. It doesn't look like it makes a difference.
there is a lighter one. One is lighter, like not in terms of color, but like weight.
Like physical weight, yeah.
Yeah, one is lighter. So if you want to like jump around on stage like a madman, then get, I think it's ash, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
Well, like what you'll notice if you're going through guitars and you're shopping and like whatever, and if you're on online, don't buy your guitars online or whatever. I'm not your dad, but you generally want to plug it in first. But you'll notice that a lot of the clear lacquer finishes where you can see the wood grain, those are ash.
Yeah.
And like the hard poly, like thick ass finish, those are usually going to be alder. So that probably contributes to the weight difference as well, because you have like 2 millimeters thick of this lacquer that's just suffocating the wood. I am a sucker just for the look of wood grain, so that's why I usually go for ash, just because I like to see wood grain. I'm sure there's a tonal difference. If you played two of them in a blind test, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
It's interesting you say you like the wood grain look more. I seem to recall a particular black paisley Strat that you fell in love with.
I don't talk about that though. That's different. And that's Japanese. There's an entire other category of Strats that we didn't talk about. But there is a factory in Japan that makes Strats, and they make a whole lot of like Japan only stuff. But every once in a while, there's like a limited edition or a special edition or something like that that comes out to North America and to Canada. And this black paisley Strat is one of those limited edition. And man, I've been looking for like my band, like my Kevin Bresser act, Spotify at Kevin Bresser.
I wore that shirt in the I wore your shirt in the Tele video.
Oh, that's great. Like I've always been like, I've looked for a black paisley guitar for so long, and then they had a Mexican one like in 2012 or something like that, and I was like, damn it, it had a humbucker in it, which I wasn't too thrilled about. But I was like, I need this guitar, and I kind of like accepted the fact that I was never gonna get it. And then I saw this paisley one, I was like, shit, and I like bought it like immediately,
instantly.
Yeah. I didn't even
convince me to buy it too,
and I convinced Hayden to get one too. It's so
well, Kevin, I mean, we're recording this before the Strat video comes out, but that's actually the black paisley Strat is what I actually got for the B-roll as well.
Oh, really?
There's a third one. A third one.
There's a third one.
Yeah. A third one showed up.
That's so great. What a nice guitar, and it sounds good too. I'm probably gonna change the pickups eventually, but something ceramic magnets.
Well, okay, so one thing that confused me in the making of the video, let's talk about, we're getting into the technical space again, but let's talk about the Alnico pickups, because those were something that in the notes that I was reading just confused the heck out of me. I only really know what the name stands for. Okay. Do either of you actually know the difference between those pickups and their iterations?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. I read the notes off of what I'm given from Anaya. I don't actually know half the time on the guitar stuff.
Yeah.
Is it pronounced Alnico? I thought it was Alnico.
I think it's the piezo things, potato tomato.
Yeah.
Potato tomato. I said Alnico. Anybody who wants to correct me out there, please go ahead.
That's going to be a fight in the comments. Please fight in the comments about this. Also, it's GIF, not GIF. Fight.
And meme, not Mimi.
Meme. Anyway, the different magnets are they pull on the strings differently.
Mm-hmm.
The stronger the magnet, the more kind of bite you're gonna get. That's why a lot of like the really loud things, loud heavy metal, heavy distortion stuff, a lot of the times use ceramic magnets because they're just hotter, different output. The weaker the magnet, the less output. The stronger the magnet, the more output. I don't know like really the minutia about it, but that I know. Hayden, do you know more than that about that?
I just know that you coil the magnet.
Yeah.
Hashtag coil
Okay.
your magnets. That's it.
I think
That's all know.
it's time we all just reach out to a Fender rep and see what's going on there.
Let me Google that for you. I think it's.
Alrighty. So in keeping theme with the last two videos, the ultimate question: Strat or Tele?
Well, I think we just went about me and Baden, me and Hayden both
Babe
got strats. Why did you get the strat, Hayden? Not just, and don't say because I made you. That's peer pressure.
Okay, it's better than an SG. That's why.
Oh snap! Okay, we're bringing another company into this. We
No,
that's what I said to Hayden.
It's an inside joke.
And I was like,
oh, is it? Okay.
I was thinking about buying an SG. I had one like ready to buy, and then the black paisley came in. I was like, "Oh, that looks really cool. I need to. Which one do I get? I don't know which one to get."
For
Well, I'm thinking about it, and then I look at Kevin. I'm like, "Hey, Kevin," because I already knew Kevin hated SGs. I'm like, "Hey, Kevin, which one should I get?" He told me, like, hands down, just get the black paisley.
get the black paisley.
Yeah.
For,
So I got a
for
Strat.
reference of how good this finish looks, I mean, you guys, like, by the time this episode is out, you've seen it on the video. But
Yeah.
my mom came into the room earlier when I was filming, and she just saw it laying on the couch, and she even was like, "Oh my god, this is beautiful."
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, if someone who knows nothing about guitars thinks that this finish looks absolutely incredible, I think they've got a winner here.
I might take a sander to mine.
Yeah, they could be cool.
Yeah.
Like Relic it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you look at the custom shop one, it's Relic.
It's called Road Worn.
No, it's not.
No, it's called beating the shit out of it.
It's
That's what I'm
called
gonna do.
accidentally leaving it outside and overnight.
Dropping
There
it
you
down
go.
your stairs.
So Kevin, you used to be a Tele guy,
Yeah.
and what made you switch from that to a Strat?
Well, okay. So first, Tellies are great because they're so simple, and that's really what I loved about my Tele. It was like you don't have to work very hard to get it to sound good, right? You know, less quote unquote less options is like it makes it more plug and play. You know, I like the way it looked, I like the way that it sounded, I liked all that. I did replace the pickups with some random hand wound German pickups that a friend of mine got, and he's like, "I'll throw them," and I'm like, "Cool." So it was great. And when I was recording my record, we had it on the record for a couple songs, and then my producer was like, "Dude, this needs a Strat," and I'm like, "No," because for me, you know, you go to Costco, you go to Walmart or whatever, and you get like these J Tercer Strats or whatever, like these like $80 Strats.
It's the Strat shape, but not actually a Strat.
Yeah, like a Strat adjacent guitar, and like everybody and their brother starts off with that guitar, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to be like them. I'm original. I'm going to play the other one, right? So I was like, Tele, and I resisted Strat so much just because I'm like, everybody has a Strat, and I want to be different. And then, my producer was like, "This song needs a Strat," so we plugged it in. His friend had like a really nice like vintage series, like nice ass Strat, and it was so perfect. And then we ended up using it on pretty much every song on the record. And then I'm like, well, if it's on every song on the record, if I wanted to sound right, I have to be playing a Strat on stage.
Yeah, when you perform live now.
And then I
Did you keep the Tele in there?
eventually I sold it. Oh,
No, I mean on the yeah.
Yeah, there's some stuff, but it's mostly like effecty stuff.
Oh, okay.
So stuff that wouldn't show up live anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up selling it, and I got a couple Strats now, and then I have my Les Paul, which covers all the sounds that I need, and like that really like wiry like sound that just works so well with my music, like indie kind of stuff. It's just like you really can't go wrong. I love my Strats. I've got a Highway 1 in 1993 or 92 Highway 1 Strat, which was like the electronics were made in Mexico and then they were dropped into the body in the US so they can say that it's made in America.
Right.
They shipped it disassembled.
Yeah, exactly. So I found a used one of those for like $400, and it's
Nice.
just like so good. And then I have my black paisley, which I love so much.
Mhm.
And I will never shit on a Tele. I'll never do that.
Yeah.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
And I won't talk negatively about them either.
I might, but only as a joke and to like bug people.
Yeah.
People that you know, when it's people who legitimately come looking for advice, that's when we gotta.
That's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
different. Yeah. When it's like, no, only ever buy Strats because Telly suck. I'm joking when I say that.
Well, one of the other people on our team, Denise, she's one of our editors. She has two
Thin lines.
thin line
She's
Teles.
two thin lines. Yeah.
Yeah. They've got like the F hole. They're like chambered, semi hollow. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They're sweet.
And like with the style that she plays, like this like smooth like R&B, like
Oh. For those of you who are interested, you need to go check out Denise's new EP. It's called Waves. You can find that on Spotify and everything like that as well. Denise Badua, Badua is her last name.
she's killer. You'll hear her start singing and you're just gonna give up on your life because you're never gonna be able to reach that.
You just melt, like
Yeah.
just relaxes you.
So good.
So Kevin switches from a Tele to a Strat for his reasons. Hayden, you had a Gibson ready to go.
Yeah.
And so I mean I know it's a bit of an inside joke now between you and Kevin, but what were, besides Kevin saying do it, what were your reasons for totally switching companies, not even just switching within a lineup?
Yeah.
It's mostly just because I made you, isn't it?
No, it has to do with,
Well,
I guess,
you
the
know,
sound.
I mean-
it has to do with the sound and like what I'm going for with the SG. The reason why I wanted to get one is because for my band Parliament Owls, check them out on Spotify. We're having a lot of plugs right now, and they're on YouTube and iTunes. And
We're owls exterminators.
Parliament Owls. We're not
Parliament
owls.
Owls.
Parliament
Parliament
Owls.
is the name for a group of owls.
Yeah, Parliament of Owls, but it's not Parliament of Owls. It's just Parliament Owls. Anyways, since we already had Strat and Tellys on our record, I was thinking, oh, wouldn't it be really cool if we got another like guitar sound on our next record? And since we're influenced by bands like the Fall of Troy and other like post-hardcore bands, I know they used Gibson, like the guitarist from Fall of Troy, he's a Gibson endorsed artist. So I was like, maybe I'll get a cool Gibson. And then the Strat came into my life and I just couldn't say no. And I just understand it's the sound. It can be fit into anything. Or SG is like, it's funny. I guess it's kind of like the difference between a P bass and a J bass, even though those are the same companies. A J bass can get a P sound, but a P bass can't get like the jazz bass sound.
Mm-hmm.
A Strat can kind of get the SG sound, but an SG sound can't get the Strat sound.
Yeah, I see what
That's
you're
pretty
saying.
much what it is. Yeah.
Strat, but you can't really thin out a SG.
Yeah. And I like the chunkiness of SGs. Like, I do like them. And I do like the chunkiness of Tellys and the twanginess of Tellys. And maybe one day I'll buy those, and one day I'll be like Kevin, but I'll go from Strats to something else. Or
never be like Kevin.
Well, yeah. Be like me.
You have to shrink about.
Awesome. So, sorry, what was that?
You have to shrink about 1.5 feet too.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say at the end of the day, it's all up to you. Well, what do you need for your music, and try out those guitars? I mean, right now it's a little bit harder to go into a shop and pull a bunch of guitars off a wall and spend 3 hours there and see what works best for you. But you know, you could also look up other reviews and whatnot. I I know that there are a bunch of other channels out there that have music reviews. I don't know what those channels' names are. I'm just saying I know that there are channels out there.
With that being said, you said go to a music shop and pull down guitars, see what you like playing. Try out different guitars of the same type of guitar. Try out like 3 different Strats. Try out 3 different Teles, because every single one of them is going to play differently.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like, you may love the sound of a Strat, but this Tele plays magnificently better than the other 3 Teles and all the Strats together.
Yeah. Yeah, what I usually like when people come to me asking advice for this kind of stuff, I I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but yeah, like the one chooses the wizard, man. You just got to play a whole bunch of guitars and it's gonna pick you. It's true. Like that Paisley. There's a reason why I didn't have to plug it in. I picked it up and I played it and I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't just because of its luck. It's like the neck and like the whole
Yeah.
vibe and how it felt in my hands. It's just like it just clicks.
It really made you feel like a hairy wizard.
But like the guitar will choose you, and like inside of that, I haven't seen this Strat video, so I don't know if you're gonna get into that on that or not. But like for all of the Fender stuff, there's different series and different price ranges and stuff like that too. You've got like
We did
the,
talk about that.
Yeah, we did.
the player series. You have the like all of the whatever the vintage series that are still made in Mexico, the Ventura, whatever. Ace
Yeah,
Ventura.
Yeah.
they're great.
And then you've got the performer, and you've got the pro, and you've got the
Pro 2.
Pro 2 now, which is the new pro, which I haven't played yet. I really want to try one out.
And the Ultra, which you don't
Ultra,
like.
which used to be the Elite, and then you get the they're not called vintage series anymore. What are they called now?
American Originals.
American Originals. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, those are sick.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
like in Canadian, they're like closer to $3,000, like probably $2,700 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But like they are like you put that beside an Ultra, which is like a similar kind of price point, and you know the American Original is just like just a good ass guitar that sounds really good and feels really good, and it's got the right neck, it's got the right pickups, it's got all that stuff, and it costs the same as the Elite, which I think has like not the Elite, the Ultra,
Mm-hmm.
which like I think they're using like ebony now fingerboards and stuff like that. Like they're doing
Mhm.
to make it like worth the money, but like I don't care about S switches and noiseless pickups and all this shit. I just want a really nice guitar.
Yeah.
And I know Hayden, you have an Elite bass, right?
I have an Ultra 5-string jazz bass, and I love it. I love it. You can't. This is completely different from the guitar thing, but we're kind of talking just Fender right now. I love the fact that, first of all, it's a 5-string. I love 5-string basses. I know there's bass players out there who are like, nope, 4-string or nothing. And I love a 4-string bass, but 5-string basses is what I started on. And the D-shaped neck on that American Ultra
Mhm.
feels amazing, especially in my hands. I have rather large hands, so like rather than like feeling pretty scrunched up on a C neck, which if it's a good C neck, I like it. That's why I'm saying like play every single instrument that you can at a store.
Mhm.
But the D neck, it just feels like I don't know, feels lovely. It doesn't feel like a baseball bat.
Yeah,
Plus
the active passive
active passive.
in that too, right? And like
Yeah.
that nice curved heel.
Yeah, it's got that contoured heel, so like you can reach up to the. It's just amazing. I love it. It's so good.
I have a different opinion on the bass side.
Than the guitar side. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Um,
What is it about the guitar side that you don't like, or that you are turned away from?
It's just like bells and whistles that I don't care about.
Right.
You know, I'm paying this money. The same thing with like we're getting like way off topic now, but like there's like the Gibson Modern standard with like all the push pulls and like you can get in the back and like fiddle with all these dip switches and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't care, man. Just give me a guitar that sounds good.
Yeah.
Like, and there are
Yeah.
tinkerers out there that love that stuff, and it's just not me. Like, just I want to plug in my guitar and I want it to sound good.
Yeah.
Just give me a Strat with no bullshit. I just want to plug it in.
The looks are the bonus for Kevin at that point.
Totally.
I do agree with you though. The American Original series is probably their best series. I would probably get those over a custom shop. If the custom shop was like same price, I would get it over a custom shop.
Oh, that's a podcast in itself. If you can
I
get
know.
a shop versus an American Original for $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just so if anybody out there works with Fender, you know, clearly we like your stuff. Hit us
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
We need sponsors.
Yeah.
So let's work together on that one.
And also on the other side of the coin, because we're talking about these $3,000 guitars that maybe everybody's, going to be super interested in. Like in the Squire line, you've got the Bullets, which are like $250 Canadian or something like that.
Yeah.
They're like, for a beginner guitar, they're so killer.
Mm-hmm. You've also got like in that just a little bit above that budget, like on the Affinity side, the Affinity series stuff, like your entry level Tele in that sense is $329. So, and the only reason I remember that is because my notes are right here.
If people come and ask me for advice on starting with guitar, I typically go for the Affinity series.
Yeah.
It's going to last longer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The Bullet series is something that you'll play for a year or 2 years, get really good at guitar, and then want to get something better.
Mm-hmm.
The Affinity series will at least last you a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Go up to,
only reason that I recommend a Bullet over an Affinity, depending on who it is anyway, is that the Bullet has a fixed bridge. That's like the thing. I think it also only has one volume and one tone knob versus the Affinities have two tone knobs. But the main thing is like that fixed bridge can be the difference between a lot of headache and no headache, just depending on how people are messing with, a tremolo system.
Right.
The people who try to do a setup on their own for the very first time.
God. At least it's not like I'm sure we'll have a video about the what's the word? Whatever, Floyd Roses and how much those can be a headache. Talking about difficult systems, but
we could probably get there.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll
that
get there.
that actually would be a great video of like top 10 most difficult pieces of gear.
Yeah, and it's just 50 minutes of us all crying, and
we should have a series where it's just like videos of each of us trying to do setups on a Floyd Rose guitar. Just the frustrations that come along with it.
Yeah.
Cut to my segment where it's just me holding like a screwdriver and then walking away. I'm helping.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I saw a Strat with a Floyd Rose on it before, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, a lot of it, especially with they're doing a lot of these like 80s kind of like revamp things and like metal Strats with the Floyd Rose. I saw a Les Paul with the Floyd Rose. That was weird.
Bigsby I can kind of understand, maybe a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah, but with a Floyd Rose, that's different.
The fuck are you doing to my guitar? I realize it's on this. Yeah, I just put explicit up in the corner, right? But
we've covered that at this point.
Okay, good. But yeah, there's guitar companies seem to want to innovate, which is fair. But I don't want innovation. I just want something that sounds good when I plug it in.
I think there's a difference between going like, hey, this is a really cool feature that a lot of people are going to want to use, and then like the people who have like, we've reinvented the wheel.
Yeah, robo-tuners.
Mm-hmm.
So Fender, we love your stuff. Gibson, don't talk.
Love your stuff.
No, man.
What are you saying?
I've got like my my ES Les Paul Gibson that I picked off the wall in the Memphis factory before it shut down. Man, I love that guitar. That's all over my if we end up doing a Gibson video, I'll talk more about that. Maybe I'll even bring it. I'll show it.
Anybody from Gibson, I was joking 100%.
Just not SGs.
Just
I don't agree.
SGs.
I almost bought one.
I know you did. It's a weight thing for me. It's not.
there you go.
The guitar's
Oh,
fine.
you like feeling like you're carrying a guitar rather than like a feather?
Yeah, I don't have the budget to continually fix my headstock from smashing it off the floor every time I let go of it. So.
Be careful.
Just take care of your gear. That's the ultimate lesson here.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, Kevin, just because Hendrix set his guitar on fire and Pete Townsend smashed his guitar on stage doesn't mean you have to.
No, it does.
Oh, okay.
That's what it means.
That's how you become great, isn't it?
That's how you be good. I'd be good at music because smash my guitar. You wonder why you're not famous, and I am also not famous.
Episode 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey! And if you want more of that nonsense, check out Podly Satisfying on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's just me being a jackass for about an hour every time.
Yep.
This is a video of plugs.
Yeah,
That's okay. That's okay.
That's
We all need to get our stuff out there.
Hey, if you're a musician in these days and ages,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
you gotta no, like this is for like the people listening out there. You gotta do more than one thing.
Sorry, I'm a local musician. I'm not used to people listening to my stuff.
Oh no!
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, Hayden.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding. Your band's killer too. Definitely check out his band too. Let's create a D-roll Spotify playlist and people can just.
Oh, that'd be dope. I would love to do that.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being with me today. Hayden, as always, it's great to talk to you. Kevin, thank you so much. And we will see you guys. What was that?
This was fun.
Oh, okay.
Was.
Zoom cut out my audio there for a second.
Um,
Yeah. Definitely a fun time. So to recap, at the end of the day, try these guitars out for yourself. That's the way you're going to be able to make the best decision. You can watch all of our videos and just know all the information, but if you don't actually do anything with it, if you don't make the decision for yourself, then you're just going to be stuck pondering the decision forever.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
Oh, I interrupted the most important part.
We are posting content. And
Like
a lot
it.
more content in the new year.
More New Year content.
Yeah. More New Year content. Head over to YouTube. YouTube.com/DRoll Music.
Do it.
Yeah. I don't know how to end this episode. This is a different one for me.
In conclusion,
We should just say Bruce Springsteen and leave the video.
Wizard Bruce Springsteen.